this is really an important week for Greece, which, as we know, is struggling under a mountain of debt, which has affected all of Europe, really, and has the European Union trying to figure out what to do. Tell us what happened today.
Today was an important day for Greece because we had Olli Rehn, the EU finance representative, basically go to Greece to meet with the government along with an official from the European Central Bank. And what they were doing there was basically having discussions with Greece, looking over the proposals that they have to whittle down their finances, this mountain of debt and their huge deficit that you're talking about. They basically came out of that meeting today with Olli Rehn saying that Greece needs to do more. They need to announce even harsher measures to address the situation. And the reason that that's important is because later on this week, Greece very much needs to or wants to start selling some more bonds because they've got about more than $20 billion worth of debt that they have to pay down just within the next couple of months.
Let me go back for a second to the question of cuts. They've already announced some cuts, and it's a country that has a lot of social programs, and those last cuts, of course, resulted in protests in the streets. So is this going to, do you think, result in more protests from residents of Greece over these cuts, proposed cuts?
Absolutely. We've already seen, as you said, a number of unions come out, even the finance ministry itself going out to strike. But everybody understands that these fiscal austerity measures are absolutely necessary to get the country back on the path toward health. It's not going to help, certainly, to see even further strikes as we go along, but we certainly can't rule that out in the near term, especially since Greece is going to be kind of clamping down even more.
I think it's interesting the reaction that we've heard around the European Union, especially from Germany, which seems to resent having to help bail out Greece because the Germans have been so careful with their spending themselves. And I know there's some developments coming on that score in the end of the week.
Absolutely. The other reason why this is a very pivotal week for Greece is because Germany and France came out over the weekend and indicated that they might be willing to buy up quite a lot of Greek bonds, perhaps about 30 billion euros worth. But a lot of that depends on, particularly on German Chancellor Angela Merkel being able to sell that to taxpayers back home. The German taxpayer right now is saying, why should I foot the bill for my neighbors in Greece who've basically been, in their eyes, sort of living in this very sort of free spending, habit for many, many years. Now we've got Germany, Europe's largest and richest economy, basically having to foot the bill for this. So at the end of this week, if Greece does wind up announcing further austerity measures, it's quite likely that Angela Merkel will come out and say, okay, we recognize that we need, our banks to help buy up this debt and basically get Greece over this hump, and that'll be a very
One last quick
moment,
question for you, and beyond Greece and beyond the European Union, the effect globally is, give us just an example or a sense of what the global effect is.
The global effect is we've already been seeing some of that global effect in financial markets. The big concern is that if we can't get over this hump with Greece, that there could be a domino effect happening in the rest of the Eurozone among other countries that have very high debt and deficits, such as Portugal. The biggest concern after Greece is Spain, because it's Europe's fourth largest economy. They're in a precarious financial situation as well. But it doesn't stop there. Already we have heard people wondering whether all of this worry about sovereign debt is something that might ripple to places like the UK and even the United States, given our own huge debt and deficit burdens. And in fact, this week is going to be a test for Britain, of all places, because investors have actually started effectively attacking the British currency even though it's not in the euro. They're concerned that the type of weakness that we're seeing in Greece is something that might start to plague the British economy.
So it's a huge financial story all around the world. Right, Liz,
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.